In this video, we're going to look at some very basic percentage problems. The only prerequisite is basic knowledge of arithmetic, including decimals, and some basic ideas concerning equations. Okay, so let's look at the preliminary things that we need to know here. First of all, percent basically means per hundred. So you can think of the percent symbol here as 1 over 100. Okay, so when you see 25%, that actually means 25 divided by 100, because you can replace the percent sign by 1 over 100. And if I carry through the operations here, I get 25 over 100, which is the same thing as 0.25. Okay, that's why when you have a percent, a number with a percent sign, they ask you to convert it to a decimal, or to remove the percent sign, simply move the decimal over 2 places. What you're doing there is actually dividing the number by 100, because a percent is 1 over 100. Now going back the other way, if I have 0.25 and I want to convert this to a percent, then I'm going to multiply this by 100 over 100. 100 over 100 is just 1, so I'm just multiplying the number by 1. So multiplying a number by 1 does not change it. So if I multiply 100 times 0.25, that gives me 25. That leaves me with, basically, since just multiply this becomes a 1 here. Because 1 times 100 is 100. So I get 1 over 100, but that's your percent sign. Okay. So that's why if you have a percent and you want to eliminate that percent, they tell you move the decimal 2 places to the left. So you're actually going through this process here. If you have a number and you want to convert it to a percent, they tell you move the decimal or 2 places to the right, because what's happening here is you're multiplying by 100 and then dividing by 100, and you write it in this format. So anytime you're going to do a computation involving a percent, you want to work with strictly numbers. And that's why we have to remove the percent sign and write the number in decimal format. Now your formula, I have here the amount is equal to the rate multiplied by the base. So the rate here, which I have over here, is A equal R times B. That's your formula abbreviated. This is your percent. Okay, this stands for your percent, the rate. So multiply the rate and the base, and you get the amount. So in some problems you'll be asked to find A, in some problems you'll be asked to find R, in some problems you'll be asked to find B. Okay, so we're going to look at some basic problems involving this type of concept here. So we'll look at the first one. Solve each of the following. What is 25% of 100? Okay. So the 25% is your rate or your percent, and the 200 is actually your base. So if we write this into an equation, we write this. What is, so we're looking for something. What are we looking for? We're looking for A. So I'm just going to call that A. Is equal to, and then here again, 25% of 200. So these two are connected by the word of, which means just multiply. So again, I have to write this as 0.25. Okay, because I'm going to do a calculation. And then times the 200. Okay, multiply this out, and I get 50. So 25% of 200 is equal to 50. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and clear this. Go to the next one. So 420 is what percent of 700? Okay, so again, we have it as a little statement there. So I'm going to write this as an equation. So 420 is, okay, that would be your equals. What percent, so we're looking for the percent, so this would be R. Okay. Of means multiply. Okay. So we get 420 is equal to R times 700 or 700 times R. So now we want to find R. So basically then, this is your basic equation. To solve for R, I divide both sides by the coefficient of R, which is 700. Okay, so if I divide this side by 700, these are going to cancel. And over here, this will be 700. So 420 divided by 700, use your calculator, and that should come out to 0.6. Okay. So normally though, if you're looking for a percent, you want to express the number as a percent. So instead of 0.6, instead of saying the rate is 0.6, we say the decimal again, because what I mentioned earlier, to the right 2 places. That means I'd have to add a 0, and then I add the percent sign. So 420 is 60% of 700. So I do want to point out to you, anytime you're working any kind of mathematics problem, when you go through the steps and compute and get an answer, always go back and kind of check and make sure your answer makes sense. Okay, so one way you can check this is just multiply the 700 by 0.6, okay, because you have to have it as a decimal, and that should give you 420. Okay, let's clear this. Go to the next one. So this one is 70 is 20% of what number? Okay, so here's the word of. So here you're looking for the base. Okay, 70 is 20% of what number? So again, I'm just going to write this as a basic equation. I'm say, okay, 70 is, that's your equal, 20%. So again, I want this as without the percent sign, so I'm going to decimal over 2 places. I can write it as 0.2 or 0.20, doesn't really matter, it's the same number. And then of means times, so it'll be, in this case, times b. So then I divide both sides by 0.20. I'll go ahead and put my b on this side. So dividing here by 0.20. This side by 0.20. These will cancel out. So again, b is equal to 70 divided by 0.20. So, okay, you can use your calculator. Divide this out. And it's 350. So 20% of 350 should be 70. Okay. So just eyeing this, it looks like it's correct, but you can go ahead and double check it by multiplying the 350 by 0.2, and you should get the 70. Okay, so this is your answer. In this case, this is the base. Okay, clear this. Go to the next one. Okay, so this is a word problem, and what we're going to do is write this in the same format as we did the others. Okay, so here we have it. An item's regular price is 45. I'm sorry, an item's regular price is $45. If the merchant gives you a 15% discount, what is the selling price? So in this case, what are we given? 15%, we're given a rate. So again, what we want to do is we try to fit it into this format. Okay, so A is equal to the rate times the base. So see if we can set it up this way. So again, remember the rate is associated with the base. Those are going to be multiplied. So what is the base here? Well, we could say the base is 15%. The base is 45, because if you think about this, if the item's regular price is $45 and you get a 15% discount, then basically what you're going to do is you're going to multiply this 45 by 15% and then subtract it from the 45, and that's going to be your discount. Okay, so one way we can do it is say, okay, it's 45. That's dollars, okay, minus the discount. Okay, so you're not going to pay the $45, you're going to pay the $45 minus 0.15. Okay, so 45 minus 45.15. If you do that calculation, that's going to give you 38.25. So this is what you paid for. This was the selling price, and after the discount, this is your selling price. Now, another way to set this up is to say, okay, if they give you a 15% discount on the 45, then that means you actually paid 85% of that, right? You take away the 50%, so you actually wind up with 85%. So you can say then the amount A, and we could use, instead of 50%, we could use 85%. So change 85% to a decimal, and then multiply by the 45. And that should give us the same thing right here. So try to write a little phrase out for it, and then write that as an equation. So we're saying 85% of 45 is the amount we pay. Okay. Either way you want to set that up. Okay. Do this. Let's go to the next one. A customer bought an item for $76.50. If he received a 10% discount, what was the original price of the item? Okay. So this is kind of like the one I just did. In this case, you know what you paid for. Yeah. What you paid, that is. So you want to know the original price. So we'll set this up this way again. The formula, oops. The formula then that we want to use is A is equal to the rate times the base. So I'm going to say, well, the amount here appears to be 76.50. Okay, and that's going to equal to the rate. Okay, so again, if you received a 10% discount, okay, we're looking actually for the base in this case. So if we received a 10% discount, we actually wind up paying 90% of the total. So 76.50 should be 0.90 times the base, which in this case the base represents the original price. Okay, so the base then is going to equal to 76. I guess what I'm going to do here is divide by 0.90 here. .90. Okay, these divide out. So 76.50 divided by 0.90 is equal to 85. And that's, of course, in dollars. Okay. So again, $85 is the original selling price. With a 10% discount, you end up paying $76.50. Now there is other ways to set up the equation, okay? But this is one option that you have. I could have started off with the by letting B equal to the original price. Just to show you, and then I would say then, okay, so then we paid 76, we paid 76.50. And the original price was B, and then we took a 10% discount off of that. Okay, so if I subtract 0.10, changing the 10% to a decimal, that's that. Okay. Remember, this is the 1 here in front. That's the coefficient, and it should be 1. So 1 minus 0.10 is 0.90. And so I get the equation 76.50 is equal to 0.90b. But notice that's the same thing. That's the same thing that I have right there. Okay. So again, sometimes you can rewrite this to make it easier. So if you received a 10% discount of the original price, that means you paid 100 minus 10% would be 90%. So 0.90b. That's how I get this right here. Okay. Now, in the next video, I'm going to continue with percentage problems, a little bit more complicated ones that maybe deal with a little bit more algebra. And I've got some more videos coming up. So if these are helping you, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.